Welcome back, folks. This is Kyle here again with you. We are in the process of building an engaging module in Canvas based on Cengage content. We got all the way through it and then came to the realization that we're not quite finished yet. We've organized the Cengage stuff, but what this online course is missing now is any of my voice and any interactivity. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I am going to create a page. I'm going to create a new page, and I'm going to call this the module to-do list. I'm going to add that item. Canvas puts that at the bottom, and I'm going to move it all the way up right underneath the start here. And I'm going to click into this and click edit. And I come up here and I'm going to say for module 1. I do that, by the way, because I don't want to have pages. So if I do this for the next module, I'll have pages with the same name, and that creates an organizational problem. What we have here is a rich content editor that allows me to, basically operates like Word, right? So I'm going to write out what I want students to do during this module, but I'm also probably going to video myself explaining to students very briefly, like I'm talking about like a 2 to 3 minute video, what I want for them to do. And I can use the Canvas Studio. I know it's called Arc. I can use the Canvas Studio menu here to create a video. So from Arc or Canvas Studio, I can create a very short module welcome video just by clicking the ellipsis icon here and going to webcam capture. Now I'm not going to do that because my webcam is already engaged and that's going to throw an error. But if I click webcam capture, it's going to engage Canvas Studio software and bring up a recording menu and allow me to record a very quick video for students and then save it. And when it's saved, it embeds, I'm just going to click out of this, it embeds here. So it's a great way to add a page. We're adding a page here, but kind of a fancy page because in it we're recording and embedding a video that explains to students what I'd like for them to get out of this module. So it's adding my teacher voice, my faculty voice to the course. It's a great way to do that. So as soon as I'm done with this, I would click Save. And I'm just going to go back to the module, right? And so that would be this module to-do list, right? So I'm adding an element of faculty voice. We're still missing any kind of interactions here. I'm going to add now 2 of them. I'm going to add a discussion and then I'm going to add a meeting. And so the first thing I want to do is add a discussion, all right? And so here, I'm going to add a discussion. I'm going to create a new discussion. And I'm going to say, tell us about an economic choice you have made this week, right? I'm going to add that item. And this is probably going to go into my practice section. If I want to create a new section called Discuss, I might. But I think that this is probably good enough. So I'm going to put it right at the top, and I'm going to indent this. And if I need to, I'm going to edit this now. And the rich content editor comes up again. And this is where I'm going to give students the instructions about what I want them to do and how to complete this discussion. Now, these could be text, or they could be video again. If I wanted to create another video, I can. I'm just going to click, either Arc this way, or again, this is Canvas Studio, and do exactly the same thing, webcam capture or screen capture, whatever. But I am going to create for students here some very specific instructions about how I want them to discuss and what I want them to discuss this week. And then this will be added to their to-do list, so they'll know that it has to do something. Here, I've got, I need to set some options here, so I'm going to grade this. I'm going to give it some points. I'm going to just give it 10 arbitrarily and assign it. If I want to, I like to tell users to that they have to post before they can see anybody else's stuff. I like to do that, and I also like to have the replies be threaded so that it kind of looks like social media and Facebook. I could allow liking if but I really want students to not just skimp and like, right, but actually make maybe a thoughtful response or two. Once I'm satisfied, then I'm going to save this. I'm going to go back to modules. And then there's that discussion, right? So that's a little element of interactivity that I've just added there, and that's peer-to-peer. I'm going to take part in the discussion though as well. So that's some faculty to peer interactions that are occurring. So I'm adding a layer of interactivity to it. Another good strategy for online course is to periodically make yourself available for live synchronous online sessions. So I'm going to add one of those sessions. We're going to do that in Microsoft Teams. So before I set up my first meeting here, my live synchronous online meeting, I actually have to set a Microsoft Teams integration up. So I'm going to come over here to Settings and click Integrations, and I'm going to turn Microsoft Sync on. Okay, and what that does now is syncs up your Microsoft Teams and all of your Microsoft tools up with your Canvas course here, right? And that's critical because it means that meetings that you'll set up will not only be pushed into your Outlook calendar, but if students have their Outlook permissions set accordingly, it will push these meetings into their Outlook calendars as well, which is handy. Okay. If you find that it's not kind of syncing up, or you press buttons later on and you get an error message, I'll show you that in a minute. You might want to come back to this page and actually do a manual sync. We haven't had to do that yet, but I suspect that as we use these features more and more, we might actually have to do that occasionally. But for right now, I don't, so I'm going to go back to modules. And remember, what I want to do is I want to set up a live synchronous online meeting. We're going to do that in Microsoft Teams now. Okay, so the first time you set up your very first meeting, you'll have a blank screen here. To set up a meeting, we're going to click Microsoft Meeting, give it a title. I'm just going to call this Module 1 Q&A. You're going to click the entire class here. What that's going to do, if the sync is working and has actually synced up your rosters, then your entire class and yourself will be added here automatically just with a touch of a button, which is what I want. If you're finding that doesn't happen, if you get an error, and I'm gonna show you an error because I don't have any students in this class, so there's an error message that got thrown up here. If you get an error, you might want to go back to Settings and Integrations and do a manual sync. I'm not going to do that because, again, there aren't any students in this dummy class here. So I'm going to set up the meeting. Whenever it is. Okay. Because these are all going to be one-offs, I'm not going to have them repeat. And again, I think for these, I probably don't need any information there. All right, so I'm just going to click Save. So there's my meeting set up, right? And when I go to join this meeting or start this meeting, I am going to go to my course, click on Microsoft Teams meetings, and then click the join button. Students will do that as well. They won't see the edit button because they're students. That's one way that they can do it. Now, I'm going to make it even easier, though, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this. Okay, so I'm going to copy the link. And then what I'm going to do is go back to modules, and I'm going to add in, and this now it's going to be an external URL. I'm going to throw the URL in there, and it's huge. And then I'm going to say this is module 1 live session. And then probably, you know, on such and such a date, right? I'm going to indent that and add the item. Canvas is going to put that at the bottom. And then I think I'm going to put that, yeah, I guess, you know, maybe here under practice, I guess. How about there? And I'm going to give it one more indent. Okay, and so again, this is interactivity. They're going to click this, and it's going to take them right into Microsoft Teams meetings. All right, and then they can join now, and you can too. You can join that way as well. All right, and you'll notice that all of these third-party apps open up in a new tab, which is what we want. So let's go back to modules now. So now we've added a really nice layer of interactivity to our module. I would say that this is a pretty good, solid online module here. You know, I've got some assessments. I've got some stuff that's pushing into the gradebook. I've got some interactivity that's added. I've given students the opportunity to, you know, chat with me. So, you know, I think this is pretty good. The only thing that we have to do is we need to publish it. You notice that all these are unpublished. And I don't have to go, except for one, I don't have to go through one at a time. I can just publish the entire module and watch what happens to all these other elements. They get published. So that module now I think is ready to go. So that's how we would build a module in Canvas from Cengage content that we've reached into Cengage and kind of dragged over. And we've done this to keep it clear for students and to give the module a really robust narrative structure, which studies indicate that is good for student retention. It's good for their performance. They'll stick around. They'll see the merit in this course, attend to at least. So, hey, if you have any questions, you know, feel free to reach out. Any of our team can be reached at cdi@cbu.edu. And, you know, we're always looking forward to working with you. So I hope these videos have been helpful. Take care.